Hey guys, welcome back. It's been quite a while since I've done a tutorial, but I really want to get back into it. So I've got a series coming up here, of which this is the first episode for complete portrait retouching. Today we're going to be talking about eyes. Later episodes it's going to be skin smoothing, reshaping facial features, retouching hair, lips, and some overall slimming techniques. And I just want to point out that I also have a new website that I'd love you to check out, ariacreative.ca and twitter.com/aria_creative. Give those a look. Okay, so let's get to it. Open up Photoshop and your portrait of choice. I've got the lovely Ruth Ann here. And the first thing you want to do is duplicate your background layer. You can do that by pressing Command and J, or just dragging the background layer onto the new layer button. So it's a good idea to always have an untouched background layer, just in case you need to go back. This tutorial is going to be focusing on non-destructive editing techniques, meaning we're going to be using things like masks and adjustment layers rather than making edits to the actual layer, so that you can remove them later if you don't like them, make adjustments later at any point, and you don't have to worry about losing what you started with or what you've done. Now I'm going to zoom in to 100% view. You can see in the top bar here I'm at 100%. When you're working with any kind of fine detail, you always want to be at 100% at least. If you're not at 100%, you can't see all of the detail. So we're going to take our duplicated layer and change the blending mode to soft light. Now with that layer selected, hold Option or Alt on Windows and click the new mask icon. And what this does, I don't want to get too much into masks because that could be an entire video itself. But basically with masks, black shows through the layer below it and white shows the layer that it's on. So this is creating a black mask, meaning it's showing only this background layer. Now to let this duplicated layer show through, we have to paint some white on it. So you want to make sure that you select your mask layer. You can see the difference there. I'm selecting the actual layer and the mask. You want to make sure you're on the mask and set your foreground color to white. And we're going to go to our brush tool. You want a brush with a little bit of feathering, your opacity at 100%. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. Now I'm using a graphics tablet, which is very helpful for retouching, and I'd highly recommend one if you're serious about it. You can do it with a mouse, it just saves a lot of time with the tablet. So we're going to take our white brush and with our mask selected and paint in on the iris and the pupil. Do it as best you can. We're going to do both eyes. Hold spacebar and click and drag to move around your canvas. Do the other eye. Okay, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but the more detailed, the better. So now we've got our eyes masked. Now, if you want to see your mask, hold Alt or Option on Mac. I'm actually not sure what it is on Windows. And you can see, and then you can also see that I've missed a couple spots, which you can go in and paint in. If you went outside of the lines into the white of the eye, you can just switch your brush to black and go ahead and correct that. That's the nice thing about the non-destructive masks, is that you can go back and edit. So that's pretty much all there is to this part, to adding contrast to the eyes. If you want more contrast than what you have here, you can try using hard light instead of soft light. You can duplicate the mask layer, Command J again. Or if you have too much contrast, or it's too dark, too light, whatever, you can adjust the opacity of this layer. So I'm gonna just pull the opacity down a little bit for this one, and we're gonna move on to adding a little dark rim around the outside of the irises. There is a little bit already, but we're just gonna exaggerate it a little bit, makes the eyes pop quite a bit. So what you want to do now is select the elliptical marquee tool, and we're going to select the iris and pupils. So get in here. Now it can be hard to get a perfect selection just by clicking and dragging. It takes a bit of practice to get used to that. What you can do, I'm just going to deselect, if you click and drag. Now I've got generally the right shape, but I'm a little over to the left. I get it to about the right size. Now without letting go of your mouse, press spacebar, hold it down, and keep dragging, and you can actually move that selection around and get that lined up. So I'm going to put that right there. That looks pretty good. Move over to the other eye. The second eye can get tricky. Just going to click and drag here, select that second eye. So now when you've got both irises selected, you want to go to your menu and click Select, Modify, and Feather. And you want to feather it about 5 pixels. Obviously this will depend on the resolution of your photo, but this is a 18 megapixel photo. 5 pixels seems to be about right. Click OK, and what this is going to do is actually just feather your selection by 5 pixels. Now with the eyes still selected, you're going to make a new adjustment layer with levels. Now what happens when you have a selection and you make a new adjustment layer, it automatically masks what you have selected. So if you hold Option and click on your mask, you can see that we've got a feathered selection and mask of the irises of the eyes. Switch back. Now on this adjustment layer, you want to change your blending mode to multiply. It's going to make it pretty dark. Now go up to your select menu, and we're going to reselect because it deselects your mask when you add an adjustment layer. So we just want to select that again. Then go back to select, modify, and contract. We want to contract it by 3 pixels. Again, it depends on the resolution of your image, but full-size image, 3 pixels tends to work. Click OK, and this is just going to squeeze in the mask a little bit. Now you want to set your foreground color to white. Let's just switch that back and press delete. And we're going to deselect with Command D. And now you'll see you've got a little dark ring around the iris. We have to go in now and remove the extra. You can see a little bit of darkness hanging over the eyelid there. So all you have to do is go back to your brush tool, switch your color to your foreground color to black, and just paint black over any of the darkness that's spilling onto the eyelashes and eyelids. And again, this is, you're just working in your mask. So you can see if you pop up your mask, just like that. Now again with the other layer, to darken or lighten it, if you want to lighten it, just adjust your opacity, and if you want to darken it, just duplicate your layer, and it'll keep getting darker and darker. Now this may be a little exaggerated, but you can really see it come through when you go back to your original, which I'm reverting here, but you could also just hide these top 2 layers, which again, you have your background untouched. So you can really see it pop with the before and after. Looking at that full size, or not full size, but looking at the entire image, just really makes those eyes pop. Now if you want to darken or lighten the irises, make any adjustments to that, what I like to do, there's many ways to do it, but what I prefer is I take this layer here, and I first make a copy of it, Command J, and I just hide the bottom one, because if you keep more than one, because of the blending mode, it's going to keep adding on to it. But in this case, I want to lighten the eyes a little bit, so I'm just going to hide that bottom layer to not interfere, but also keeping this old version of it so that I'm not losing that information in case I want to go back. I just take this and I would just do a level adjustment, curves adjustment, color adjustment, whatever you want to do. So in this case, levels, Command L, and just adjusting your highs, lows, and mids to just make those pop a little bit. And I'm just going to pull the opacity of this dark ring down a little bit, and just looking at it before, then with the contrast and the dark ring, you can see quite a difference. So that's all I have for you for this episode. Stick around. The next one coming out is going to be some skin smoothing. I may break that up into a couple videos because that can be a pretty broad subject. And again, check out my website, ariacreative.ca, and twitter.com/aria_creative. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments because I do check them regularly, and I will answer your questions as best as I can. If I don't know, I'll look into it for you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video with your friends, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.